Hello everyone and welcome to week 5 of the multi-battle conference. This week we have ourselves, Team Doesn't Click versus the St. Louis Bulus, and of course, I am not alone. Can't do this alone. Fiona, please.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another multi-battle league week.
And yeah, we're up against the St. Louis Bulus this week, as I mentioned earlier. Should be interesting. Matchup, I think, is probably one of our favorite ones, or one that I'm not going to knock. I don't hate this matchup at all, so it's going to be interesting. You guys will see the team preview on the screen shortly as soon as we all lock in here, but 3-1 on the season right now. So me and Fiona looking to make the push to 4-1, you know. Sword division, sorry, we're shield division this year. Shield division, kind of, without getting too graphic right now, kind of a bit of a bloodbath right now.
Yeah.
So you never know, and of course everybody's a good player, so it's a scary league to be in. But here we go. You guys can see the teams on the screen right now. I'm gonna put the full team on. Fiona, what are we thinking in this team preview?
So they have Togetic and Blastoise. That was the one thing we were concerned about.
Yep.
With leading. Our game plan was originally going to be leading Dragapult, but we're like, if they lead like Togetic, Blastoise, that could be annoying. So we decide, hey, we should lead Pult with Toxtricity instead of Pult with Volcarona.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what we ended up going with. And I mean, I think in theory the game plan works perfectly. And just want to point out, looking at their bluffs, right? Because you always try to look for the bluffs, right? Like, what could they be bluffing, right? And there you got the Machoke. Okay, that's an easy write-off. You're not bringing Machoke versus what the other three that you have on that side. And Fiona made a good point of saying that the Manectric is on the Blastoise side, which to me means they're not trying for any Lightning Rod stuff, so because of that, Manectric's probably the bluff. So that's what we went in with. We kind of knew what each side had for the most part there. And here we go.
Yeah, so this is really interesting because the thing with Blastoise in multi-battle league is that you're allowed transfer moves, so it has access to Follow Me. It also has a lot of tools like Yawn,
Fake Out,
Orb Sphere, Dark Pulse, Fake Out, all kinds of tools.
And just to point out, guys, it may look like an interesting battle, and it is an interesting battle, so I am going to say stick around to the end. This was a good one. But yeah, so me and Fiona saw no real reason to deviate right here. We're like, okay, if they Shell Smash, or if, you know, if they try to just max right away, we get the Darkness, we get the Overdrive, which -1 Overdrive into Blastoise was kind of what our whole game plan was, you know? Just get the big damage off onto the Stoice if they decide to max it, and we're fine from there.
Yeah. And not surprising we see this maxing here. We have Sucker Punch on our Pulse for Max Darkness.
Yep, and I was actually expecting...
That would go in conjunction with Toxtricity's Overdrive, just since both of these get destroyed by Tox. Unfortunately, they do fake us out this turn.
Perfectly
so we
fine
were like, what Togetic is going to do? Maybe it's going to yawn us.
Yeah, I was expecting a Yawn or something. Definitely not what we got. I was not expecting what we got, but it was a good one.
Yeah, and
here we
they
go.
decide to go for a Nasty Plot.
Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go.
So.
And now they have the Nasty Plot on a Togetic slot. So we knew there was probably a good chance that this was their game plan. Once we saw the Nasty Plot, they're 9 times out of 10 they're gonna max you, right?
Yeah.
And
so.
Yeah, go ahead.
We opted to Airstream here because we want speed on our Tox. Like, I think speed is important because they're most likely going to have a flying move.
Now, I do wonder, I'll talk about it after because I don't want to spoil anything, but I do wonder if that wasn't necessarily the best play. But anyways, they are going to max, guys. You guys are already about to see a max Togetic. Now, for those of you guys in VBC, you know max Togetic is a problem. Y'all have never seen a max Togetic before. So, here we go. You know this is going to be the thumbnail. You know this is going to be the thumbnail. You know this is going to be the thumbnail. Anyways, I don't know why I said it 4 times. But anyways. There's the Follow Me as you mentioned earlier, Fiona.
Yeah. So Airstream is going to go into the Blastoise. Doesn't KO, but I don't Phantasm would either.
Phantasm would have been really, really close. The only reason I think, and I'm going to mention it, maybe we could have Darknessed again, was because it would have done more to Togetic, right? We would have just really, really taken advantage. You know, like...
Oh, Darkness, yeah, maybe.
If we had Darkness again right there, we really would have got it off, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see even after the next turn of what we bring in, they're going to click Flare here, right? So we lose the weekend. So getting speed on Togetic, to me, was kind of useless there. I think we just kind of said we want to go fast, because, you know what, why not? We don't really see a threat. But I kind of forgot about Flare. I thought they were going after Pulp. I didn't think they were going to go after the weekend.
Yeah, I thought they were going to Starfall Pulp as well.
That was a good play. Maybe they know that +2 they can't kill. So maybe they know something we don't there. That could just be knowing your damage calcs. Also, either way, all in all, good play to kill the weekend there for sure. They are Monday to Friday type of people. They are not around for the weekend. That's not them. Either way, but like I'm saying, if this thing was at -2 right now, it would have taken more damage from Overdrive. We could have Airstreamed here, and Heat Wave would have picked off this Togetic.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of a misplay on our end, of course, but it's always interesting, right? Because you don't see these things during the battle. You see these things after the battle, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that was a misplay because we were kind of playing with what we had on the field, not necessarily considering what we had in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, yeah, go ahead.
So this turn, Lifeheart comes in, you know what's going to happen. They're going to click Fake Out, and they're probably going to click Airstream into Mothra. So we were like, okay, we just protect, and we Airstream this turn to make sure Mothra is faster than if they don't Airstream. But they actually max guard, and I'm very curious about that one.
I don't get... The only thing I get is maybe they figured they didn't want to take extra chip damage from Pulp that turn, figuring Pulp wouldn't attack the Lifeheart and Pulp would go into the Togetic. Which makes a little bit of sense, but I don't know. Fake Out max guard to me just seems such a passive play. I'm not a big fan of that. But they also stall out our max now effectively, which is a really good play, which isn't terrible, but I get what they were going for, but I don't stand by it. But.
Alright, so here's another ridiculous turn.
I am actually going to try, because for you guys who don't know that fly mechanic, I'll actually link the tweet to the tweet in the description because it's an interesting mechanic on fly. So make sure you check that out. It's pretty cool. And I'm actually I didn't see it during the battle because I forgot about it because I didn't expect, you know, what's about to happen. But anyways.
Well, we wouldn't be able to see because Dragapult is going for. Oh no, we won't.
No, we see the copycat, and now it clicks fly. So where does it go? It does. Wait, no. Yeah, there it is.
It
right
goes
there.
to Dragapult. Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it right there, and that confirms because it zoomed in on the Dragapult. That confirms that it's going into the Dragapult, which is a really dumb mechanic when you think about fly. Of course, Lifeheart's gonna dodge that Heat Wave, and had we hit that early, I mean, yes, we crit, but had they been chipped more by the more by the Overdrive and had an additional Darkness, they definitely would have been gone.
Yeah.
They definitely would have been gone without that crit. So.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a misplay.
It was definitely a misplay on our end here. However, I don't think we're out of it yet. Like, we bring in our Robin Hood because, you know, this is what we do.
we literally our only last Pokemon. We have to.
I have to bring in Robin Hood. By the way, guys, we had Grassy Glide in case, you know, they would have had Rillaboom on the field early and we could take advantage of their draft.
Yeah.
Because, hey, we did that with Serena one year against the Rillaboom and it worked. That video is somewhere. But either way, this is relatively simple.
So Togetic is slower than Dragapult, so Dragapult will be going into Togetic this turn. Yep. And since the Lifeheart is faster than Decidueye on the landing, we know it's not going into the Dragapult.
Well, we didn't know that because we weren't paying attention. But thankfully, now we do. Both post-recording we knew, but not like we could have protected Decidueye anyways. So Fly goes out here, Fly's coming out. Lifeheart using Fly is possibly one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But Robin Hood gonna go for the Leaf Blade, gonna pick up a nice little KO here, and put this as a 4-3 in our favor now, which is nice, very interesting.
Yeah.
And this is one of those turns where I desperately want to see this Cal in the upcoming turns, but anyways, I haven't had a chance to watch back this battle yet to really analyze it yet, so we're gonna analyze it live. So I believe they bring in Heatran and Nidoqueen here.
Yeah, they have to bring in Nidoqueen because that's their only Pokemon on that side.
Yep.
And Heatran comes in.
Yep.
So, This turn, we decide, okay, we need to get rid of Nidoqueen and just make this a 2v1 as soon as possible.
Yep. And the scary part here is the sun. You know? Yeah. The sun. But anyways, Nidoqueen correctly protecting. Very smart play. Of course, we couldn't protect our Decidueye, right? So pull with the Phantom Force coming on out. Gonna disappear here, and Heatran is just gonna click Heat Wave, and revealing that they're faster than our Decidueye as well. How much does this do?
Yeah, the burn mattered.
Let me see. Let me run the numbers. Fiona, keep the people entertained.
All right, so this turn, unfortunately, since I go into Nidoqueen, and I think the Decidueye is in range now of the Heat Wave because the burn damage. Although a single target, I'm not sure.
The burn mattered. I ran the numbers right now. Assuming that was a neutral roll with the Heat Wave, which I already think was a high roll based on our spreads, that did matter. So we would have taken this Heat Wave here to get a Leaf Blade off into Nidoqueen to kill it.
Yeah.
But Heat Wave's coming out here, gonna pick up the knockout, which it would not have done without that burn. Thanks to numbers. Numbers are fun. I mean, it might have been like a roll to get the kill, but I think the roll would have been seriously in our favor. Like just some quick numbers that I ran right now on my calculator. It's very in our favor to live that if they don't get the burn. I know it becomes single target, but they lose the sun, and that's a better boost, and that boost doesn't give them the same amount of damage. Because basically they did 54%. So if you do the conversion properly, you're probably going to do about 50, below 50 the next turn. So like probably like 40 something, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like 45. So without the burn, we would have been sitting at 46%. So
yeah.
Either way, back to the game. it would have been really close. Back to the game. Very smart play on their end here to bring in the Rillaboom. Not much we could have done after we had Slippy on the field.
No.
And we have to hit the.
No one. Yeah. This is unfortunately since we're in a 2v1 position now, which we wanted on our end. Yep. Now we're in this situation. There really isn't much we can do.
No,
we can't switch.
And
so.
Yeah. Fiona came up with a good idea to stall out the grass, because if we can stall out the grass and potentially bring this to Urshifu, because we don't know what's on this Rillaboom, right? If we can potentially stall this out, get Urshifu in, we can potentially pick up the Nidoqueen, pick up the Rillaboom, and have Heatran versus our Urshifu in the endgame, which is a very possible endgame. So
yeah, so that's why I went for that. Them going for Glide is important because if they went for Woodhammer, we would have been just dead.
We would have just died. And I wonder if they even have Woodhammer. I feel like they wouldn't.
I don't think they would.
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't either. Like, I feel like Grassy Glide in grassy terrain, without us having a way to change that, is reason enough to just have Mono Glide. But Rindoberry actually going to keep this dumb Seismitoad alive, guys. I still hate Seismitoad, just to let you know. Just to let you know, I still hate this thing. But gonna get a little bit of health back here with Slippy. Not that it matters, but like I said, guys, game plan: stall out grass.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is our only game plan here.
Yeah, not what we wanted to do here, but it's a way to definitely get out of this. Grassy Glide going out into Slippy, that's fine. Earth Power into Nidoqueen, that's from Nidoqueen, I should say. The only good thing I do want to talk about the standings. I'll probably flash them on the screen at the end of the video, so if you guys are curious. Feel free to check those out. It's that time of the season where you can start looking at standings and consider, playoff contentions and stuff like that. Still, I think 6 weeks left, which is still well over half the season, of course. But you have to consider it. Slippy, of course, going to drop there. But yeah, I think we're still going to be back to my point. I think we're still, even if we were to drop this game, I think we'd still have a game on the 5th place spot and top 4 make playoffs.
So now, with the grass ending, like we planned, Urshifu can come in.
Kill the queen.
Urshifu is a broken Pokemon and will KO Nidoqueen from this range.
Nidoqueen has bulk, they said. No, it doesn't. Said Urshifu. Anyway, yeah, Urshifu broke, and basically it comes down to now of what's on this Rillaboom right now. And Nidoqueen, as we said, goes down here. Bye, Nidoqueen. Urshifu broke. And we're going to see a, I believe it was a Grassy Glide. Yes.
Yeah.
And I looked at Fiona and I said, let's not get excited yet. They could just have done that to break the sash, not want to lower the defenses with a superpower and go for superpower here, which is honestly what I was expecting. Because I figured they were AV after we lived the Grassy Glide with Slippery. But anyways, we get that Wicked Blow. It is a 2-hit knockout, and we thankfully just see another Grassy Glide. And Urshifu takes, and Urshifu now gets a Wicked Blow to kill Rillaboom. Which, I mean, that's not, I would say I was spoiling it, but that's not much of a spoil. And not much of a spoil at all. And now all of a sudden things are kind of looking back in our favor. We've got not the endgame we wanted, but an endgame that is pretty solid right now. Urshifu versus Heatran. You know? I mean, it still would have been great. Like, I think we guarantee win assuming we don't get burned and we live the roll. Because I'm looking back at it, like, it's definitely a roll. I think it's a roll in our favor, but I think it's a roll. Anyways. Besides the point, and we see the Chople Berry. So, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Chople Berry is amazing prep on their end. That's just good prep, you know. And I'm the type of guy to shout out good prep when I see good prep, and that was good prep, you know. That was just well prepped. They played it to that end game. It was really well done, because I honestly thought that maybe they would try to switch out Rillaboom into Heatran. So we'd have to close combat the Heatran, then they bring in Rillaboom late game and have a Grassy Glide with us at -1 defense. I figured that would be something they could maybe do. But they did not go for that, but very well prepped for the Chople Heatran there. The burn is a little bit unfortunate. Of course, we misplayed earlier on as well, but like, I don't know, the burn's still tough. It would have been a roll. I wouldn't mind trying to figure out their what their Heatran spread actually was. Because even with the Chople Berry, they took that close combat a lot better than I thought. So I'd imagine they had some bulk.
I imagine they did too.
I wonder if they were trying to live like a -1 defense after an Urshifu defense drop. I'd be curious to know what their spread was. But either way, that's Fiona. What do you got?
Yeah, it's a little rough to know we lost because of a burn, but I do think that you're right about a play that we could have darknessed.
Yeah, and it happens. I think all we got to do is make it to the dance. And I think we're still well off to make it to the dance. Definitely a great game. Yeah, so if you guys stuck around, of course you guys are going to get rewarded. The standings are going to be on the screen as I'm currently talking because I said I would, unless I forgot, because I am bad at this thing called YouTube. But anyways, standings should be on the screen right now, guys. If they're not, feel free to yell at me in the comments section down below. But I think with that, Fiona, we might as well get on out of here.
Nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say. All right. Woman of many words. Okay. With that, guys, feel free to subscribe and like this video if you did enjoy it, so you don't miss out on more MBC action. MBC itself will be back next week because battles are weekly, so we'll be back next week at some point. Don't know exactly when because we still have to schedule that. But with that, guys, I'm gonna stop rambling on now, and I will catch you guys in the next video.